United by anguish and captivity, 5 wives of Boko Haram commanders have shocking stories to tell. Welcome to Roots TV Roundup. Before starting the news in detail, here is a look at the top stories. The untold story of Boko Haram wives. Obari and Akiolu to remain Oba of Lagos. And GTB react to planned takeover by Innocent. In this special report, Roots TV takes a look at 5 wives of Boko Haram commanders who have escaped from Sambisa forest.
United by anguish and captivity, 5 wives of Boko Haram commanders who have escaped from Sambisa forest have shocking stories to tell. Stories of agony, suffering and stigmatization by members of their community who still see them as part of the Boko Haram terrorist organization. Sambisa forest is reportedly Boko Haram's largest camp. The forest stretches for nearly 40,000 square miles in the southern part of the northeastern state of Borno. The infamous Chibok girls who were abducted in April 2014 are believed to be held in Sambisa forest. For Mary Parlam, one of Boko Haram wives who fled Sambisa after 3 years in captivity. Living in Sambisa was hell on earth. There was an acute food shortage at the camp and many of its inhabitants had to beg to survive. Only the commanders' families could afford to feed their families. Another Boko Haram wife who managed to escape captivity with her child, Awa Babaju, recalled the abuse. Boko Haram families faced all manner of abuse from members of the community who referred to their children as vipers. According to Babaju, she wished she had never returned to her community in Madangali, Adamawa due to the discrimination faced by her and her child. For Mariam Ajuji, a mother of 2, she was abducted in 2014 and married off to a Boko Haram member Umaru Abdullahi before her escape in 2018. Mariam tried unsuccessfully to escape 3 times and was only successful on her 4th attempt. According to Mariam, living in Sambisa was hell. There were days when they were locked up without food or water while their husbands went to attack a town or fight the Nigerian army. For Bilikisu, a husband, Baba Yusuf, was reportedly forced into joining Boko Haram. Despite escaping Boko Haram, Bilikisu was put in chains and held captive in the military camp in Chibok over allegations that she was a spy for Boko Haram before her release. The story of Aishatu Usman, another Boko Haram wife, is perhaps the saddest. Aishatu and her daughter Zainab were rescued from Sambisa by Nigerian soldiers. Zainab, a teenager, was allegedly married off to a Boko Haram commander, causing her to lose her sanity while in captivity. Although Aishatu and Zainab are free, Zainab still suffers mental health problems. These are the stories of women who were forced or willingly made wives of Boko Haram commanders. The United Nations, in a statement in 2018, called on the Nigerian government to pay more attention to protecting children who are victims of sexual violence and abuse by Boko Haram. The UN also encouraged communities, particularly in northern Nigeria, to stand in solidarity with victims and children connected with Boko Haram. According to the body, approximately 200 young girls and 162 babies were rejected by the communities due to their affiliation with Boko Haram in 2012. Roots TV, Nigeria.
A federal high court has held that it cannot interfere with more than 200 years of tradition that installed the Oba of Lagos on the throne.
A federal high court sitting in Lagos dismissed the suit seeking to dethrone Obari and Akiolu. 2 members of the Lagos ruling house, Prince Sami Adebiyi and Prince Rashid Modile, had filed a suit in 2017 asking the court to declare that Akiolu's appointment and installation as the Oba of Lagos is null and void. The princes are claiming that Akiolu is not entitled to the throne because he is not a member of a royal family because he is not a direct descendant of Oba Ado, the first Oba of Lagos. They also allege the proper customary rules and procedures were not followed when he was appointed as Oba in May 2003. The Oba of Lagos in his defense had revealed that, despite the letter from Lagos State government confirming my appointment as Oba and stating that I am from a Akiolu royal family, I want to make it clear that a royal family and ruling house means the same thing. My appointment as the king is the first time in history the kingmakers will be unanimous in selecting an Oba of Lagos. Justice Candidate Johnson, however, held that the court lacked the powers to overturn the long-established custom of over 200 years of enthroning the Oba of Lagos. Oba Rewan Akiolu has been the Oba for 16 years after retiring from the police force as an assistant inspector general.
One of Nigeria's leading commercial banks, Guaranty Trust Bank, has reacted to the purported move by Innocent Motors Limited to take over ownership of the bank over an alleged 8.7 billion naira debt. GT Bank Secretary says the bank is taking necessary steps to address the issue, assuring that no illegal or fraudulent execution will be carried out. The bank said, as against the right of fiat for sale claimed by Innocent Limited, it was only aware of a judgment allegedly in issue is in respect of garnishee proceedings against the account of the Nigerian Customs Service Board domicile at the bank and not against the bank as an entity. In a telephone interview with Roots TV Nigeria, the head of corporate communications of Innocent Group, Colonel Osigwe, confirmed the move, saying the GT Bank branches in Onitsha, Nnewi, Enugu and Aba have been sealed. He added that the courts and the security agencies would also proceed to the bank's headquarters in Lagos to put it under lock if the debt was not cleared by Monday. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control on Saturday has confirmed 50 new cases of Lassa fever from 6 states in Nigeria. The chief executive officer of NCDC said that the 50 new cases brings to 510 the total number of confirmed cases out of the 1,924 suspected cases since January 1 in 21 states. A total of 119 deaths had been recorded and a total of 16 healthcare workers had so far been affected in 7 states since the onset of the outbreak. A total of 6,320 persons suspected to have contact with those infected had been identified across 20 states. The NCDC boss added that the National Lassa Fever Multi-Partner, Multi-Sectoral Emergency Operations Center will continue to coordinate the responsive activities at all levels. And now to top 5 business stories. Global payment systems leader MasterCard plans to become a shareholder in Jumia, a Pan-African e-commerce platform, to grow e-commerce operations and support the digital transformation in Africa. The company revealed that Jumia and MasterCard first partnered in 2016 with the successful launch of MasterCard Payment Gateway Solutions in several markets and launch of Jumia Pay. Under the new agreement, the two companies noted that they would look to build on MasterCard's presence across Africa. Wema Bank PLC has recommended to its shareholders a dividend payment of 3 kobo per share for the 2018 financial year, its first dividend payment in 14 years. The bank recommended the dividend payment of 3 kobo per share in line with the board's approved dividend policy. The federal government of Nigeria bond market traded slightly bearish as selling interest persisted on the mid to long end of the curve. However, there was a slight demand on the short end of the curve 2022s, with yields ending the session 4 basis points higher on the day. Vanilla Light and Kwai Igbo for April are being offered for about 50 cents less than indications of around $2 above dated Brent for May. Traders said market structure and freight costs are making European buyers more inclined to prefer CPC and North Sea grades, which will save them 30 to 40 cents per barrel. The Treasury bills market remained relatively flat despite the continued absence of an open market operation auction by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Trades were mostly order-driven and on the mid to long end of the curve, with yields marginally low by 3 basis points on the day. That's all on Roots TV News, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. The untold story of Boko Haram wives. Oba Rewan Akiolu to remain Oba of Lagos. And GTB reacts to planned takeover by Innocent Motors. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of our social media handles at Roots TV Nigeria. Thank you for watching. I am Itogi Mo, Edit.